shooting straight at you, coming to you live on this Wednesday morning. What's up, family?
Good morning. Happy to be here as always. See the
Good.
smile?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. This is Pitch Practice, the
The
The show.
show.
show. I'm Mark, the guy behind the mental marketer and the private Facebook group Funnel Building 101. Well, we've got a lot to talk about today. I've got with me
We got
Miss.
Brandon here with BKXX Marketing, helping you conquer the local market and find you an additional $100,000 in 45 minutes or less.
45 minutes or less. I love it. I love it. Your sound sounds better. Did you do something with the microphone or something, Brandon?
I'm using a different mic than I normally use on the Zoom. So
Okay, cool. And here we who else do we have on the call with us?
Hey, guys, you gotta check out this crazy gong. I'm
Okay,
trying
okay.
to how do I change my background?
you just turn it off.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
because we can't see it right now. It's blending in. Okay.
okay. So having
Oh my
Oh,
God.
broke it.
Oh my gosh.
it is
Another
it's so
blooper,
heavy.
another blooper.
It's a 1900s piece, 100% brass. It's it's got the rhino head and everything. I just got it from Etsy from England.
Oh
And
my
since I
God.
look at Rhino 7, it's a Rhino gong. It's very
Oh.
heavy. So good deal. And so that means the deals I'm doing are big deals now. So this
Mm,
thing's
Oh,
$1,000.
oh
very
my
And I
nice.
don't know
God.
if I'm bragging or complaining.
That's the perfect gong for you being at Rhino 7 now, right?
The perfect gong. That's the perfect gong. No more deals, only big deals. So I that reminds me, like, it's always like prepping to win, right? It's like training. You got to prep to win in your surroundings, and you got to know you're going to win, and you got to push yourself to win, and your surroundings have to remind you that you are going to win and that you are winning. Like,
Yeah.
that's why we train, and
Yeah.
that's why we have things that inspire us to close the deal.
That reminds me, most of the time, most people underestimate the amount of effort it's going to take.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
and that's where the whole 10x rule comes in. 10x
Yeah.
is about prepare setting that big target and then going for that big target, because most times when you if you say I'm going to do 5 appointments, you don't end up getting five. But if you say I'm going to do 25 appointments, then you might end up getting five. 10x it. If you were to go five, how are you going to 10x five?
Yeah.
How would
Yeah.
you?
Yeah,
If you think you need 5 deals, and that's I'm talking to myself, like, every time I remember, like, oh yeah, to get to one franchise sale, it's a 1% closing ratio because it's just the size of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So really, to get 30 closes, you got to go to, you know, close to 3,000 kind of leads sometimes. So that's okay. So just keep reminding yourself, okay, good. Well, I'm one closer. Like, like, don't that goes back to, like, one of the closes that we read today, which it's really hard to tell somebody, hey, if what was the one that, um which one was the one? Hey, would there be any other reason you change your mind about
Yeah.
this decision, right? It's a really hard question to ask somebody, you know? It's like you have to go and face the truth, especially with a buyer.
and as you know, we can't handle the truth.
It's hard to take it in the face. No, I'm serious. It's so hard to take the truth in the face, especially getting a no when you're like, I can massage a yes in there. But you start realizing, like, all the deals that are not full yeses, they're gonna unwind when you get to the signing table. They'll unwind like that,
Yeah.
right? And you wasted all this time and now you're pissed off, and
And we always know that to get to a yes, you have to go through the no's.
Yeah.
And the no's, where we were talking off cameras, and the no's condition you to get ready for the yes.
Yes.
They condition you, and you are hardened, or you want to say hardened, but it's like, okay, if I'm working out and I want to get bigger muscles, and I'm gonna go, it's not going to be easy for me, but I'm going to have to push my muscles to failure until it hurts. But
Yeah.
but when it hurts, it gives my muscles an opportunity to break through and push through and grow through
Yeah.
that failure. That's how the nose. There's someone that wrote a book or a saying that says, "Go for the no." Have you heard that before?
Yeah, it's a great book. I think I got it on audio. I probably listen to it once every 3 months. Same thing with the Millionaire Booklet and 10X Rule. It's kind of in rotation to listen to about once a quarter.
What's that one about?
So it's a printer salesman that if I'm thinking of the right story, printer salesman, he has to get 5 deals in the week, and
Mhm.
he hit like I guess a triple on day one, so he kind of slacked off the rest of the week until it came to Friday, and he was out hustling, and then I guess gets into a crash or something like that, and then he is living like an alternate dream reality on the what if he would have just done what he needed to do
Got it. So
to get the sales.
sometimes resting on your laurels
Yep,
could lead to like misfortune
right.
and
I'm
mishappenings.
I'm pretty sure that's story. Am I right on that story, Mark?
It sounds about right. I think
Yeah,
it's from a sales point perspective,
yeah,
and going out there and putting yourself in a position of you know, your first thoughts about no is, oh, they're rejecting me. But no is really
Yeah.
a request for more information.
Yeah.
It's a request for more information, and you keep it internally and say that, okay, what didn't I provide? What didn't I communicate to them? What can't they see? And then that's how you really start to grow, because you start to see no as more of the path to the yes, and
Yeah.
not a roadblock to yes, but just one of the steps that has to be taken to get to that yes. People are going to have questions. Welcome those questions, because when they are asking questions, as Grant Cardone so famously said once when he was with the Wolf of Wall Street, uh and that remember that interaction. He
Man,
said,
that was like two bulls coming at each other.
one thing he said, no interest is interest.
yep,
Yeah.
He said that. Remember, he said that. Well,
yeah.
that means they're not interested. Well, that means that there is interest, but it's not interested.
Yeah, but it just means like anytime somebody doesn't have enough information, it's like, yeah, of course you're not interested. How could you? You don't have any information. So like it's not an objection. It's actually a welcoming to like, great, what are you talking about? That's basically what they're saying. What is it that you're talking about? That is, instead of hearing the I'm not interested,
Mm-hmm.
hear it as a I don't have any information to make a decision or to even understand what you're talking about. So of course I'm not interested because I don't know anything. Tell me about it. That's really what they're saying at a high level. So anytime somebody tells you I'm not interested, it's give me information.
Yes. 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 I thought you were going to say something, Brandon. You're looking like you. Okay. Got we did get into the book today, and so we want to go over some of this, but then we also, we can also talk a little bit about what's been going on this week with the big conference down in Las Vegas. The 10X GrowthCon conference with Grant Cardone, his annual event. I told you guys that this was really one of the first times I've been exposed to it, because you guys really kind of have what do I say? You guys have pushed Grant Cardone on me.
We have.
Yeah, true story.
We absolutely have.
True story. So the only word I gotten about the GrowthCon was because Russell Brunson was there. He had done a presentation, and I just know that 2 years. I think he had it in, well, you tell me it was Vegas, and then he had it in that huge Marlins Stadium. But
Mm-hmm.
it's been going on from, yeah, I've been a little bit more involved this year. So
Yeah, yeah, through the Unbreakable Challenge,
mhm,
was the weeks prior, and they did a week of coaching leading up to GrowthCon, and now they're at the big pitch stage. Like all of his events have been kind of mini pitches leading up to the big pitch stage and getting people kind of indoctrinated, I guess is kind of a scary word to say, into the 10X movement. Because a lot of people that go to GrowthCon, majority of them are newcomers, are new
mm,
people. I mean, I can say from my experience when I found Grant through the Closer Survival Guide back in end of 2019, that I bought the book. Then I did the mentorship calls that was actually spread out longer than this time. He's kind of super condensed everything. Did the
14 days.
mentorship calls that led to me buying a GrowthCon ticket, and then going, and that was the funnel, that the path that I took to get to Vegas in 2020 before the world went to hell in a handbasket. So I like how he does it, but he threatened this time around that he's only going to do it for people who are involved in the family, so to speak, that are invested in that are invested in.
He's the godfather now.
Yeah, you got to be in the family to get the invite. That's what he threatened. Whether he does it or not, I don't know, because he pulls a big crowd, and it's a lot of newer people
Yeah.
coming in. So it's a lot of top of funnel traffic that he gets to his conference.
Yeah, yeah. I watching first day, so I'm listening to the presentations, and I happened to catch Grant Cardone's presentation, Elena Cardone's presentation, and then on comes Scarlett. You know Scarlett?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
when the kids speak, it's amazing. What did she say? I hadn't watched it all this year. I've been back to back with work.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, you got to catch it on the replay.
Well,
She's
go ahead and give it to me.
she's interesting. So Grant, okay, so Grant gets up there, and I'm watching just how he's structuring his talk, and it seems like it's so unstructured. It seems like he just talks, but I'm sure it's because of the amount of preparation that he's done and the
Yeah,
amount of
yeah.
times that he has presented before, that it seems so natural, where he can say, "Oh, hey, I got that slide. Bring this slide up. Yeah, show them my very first video that I did on the beach. It took me 3 hours to do that." Then he shows this video with him, and he says, "What I did was the camera crew came, and I said, well, if you're gonna take me for your show, do you mind if we take my stuff?" And they said, "Sure." And he says, "I sent them a 13 chapter book." And they said, "Oh my gosh," they said, "that'll take 3 days." And then he said, "No, it's not. It's going to take one afternoon. When we finish with your stuff, I'm going to do my stuff. And if we don't finish it, we don't finish it." And then he mentions he did this, one of his whole courses or something. He said, "Have you watched that?" He's like, "I did that in 3 hours." So repetition
Yeah, you get
and
so good once you get to the top.
yeah, and having done this over and over again, that's something, that's the cheat code, and that's that's the way to the mastery. It's doing it over
Yeah.
and over and over and over and over again, even when it seems like, oh my gosh, I got to do it again. Most people won't do it over again. Most people face a little bit of rejection and then they lay down. But
Yeah.
instead of hitting that wall, hitting that wall, hitting that wall, hitting that wall again until it falls down, and then keep going through it. So that's what I got from his presentation. And then I also got one other thing. I know I don't want to give you guys a chance to talk, but I'm gonna just talk real quick about how what I saw him do was he talked about his wife, and he talked about how he always takes care of Elena, and then about how he loves everyone around him. And then he said that, would would you like to be part of my family? He talked about really extending his family. And I thought that's how he is really growing his tribe, Brandon. That's how he is really growing his tribe, because I see him, and I think about Russell Brunson and the culture at ClickFunnels, and how Russell uh, got the philosophy for his attractive character and how to build a tribe. He got it from watching leaders, good and bad on both sides of cults, and how they speak, and how they get people to follow them with a future based cause. And it's interesting because I have Russell's philosophy in my mind, and I'm watching it play out with Grant. And what
Yeah.
is and I'm saying to myself, okay, what is this future based cause that he's going for? And then Eleanor says it. She says, Grant and I, we want to reach 8 billion people. So I'm like, okay, there's a future cause, there's a future based cause, and the tribe, the movement. It's like uh watching these processes go out in real time. It's pretty cool to see. Lastly, and I'll let you talk, okay, because you want to know about Christina, Elena, the daughter, Scarlett. She got up there, and I think her job was to remind people that the fact that we are here today, just us three talking right now, what are the chances of this happening in the entire world? An entire world of 8 billion people. And I've been in my own world for my entire, 21 years of my life. Uh, you, you've been in
Times
your
two.
you've been in your world for the entire your life, Brandon, and then you've been in your world your entire. But now, what are the chances of us three coming together? And the chances of that happening are probably like 0.0000000000001 2 whatever. So it's but we take these things for granted a little bit sometimes, and we realize that there's really magic in the people we meet, the conversations we have, and it's really a miracle and magic that's happening in front of our lives every day. So that's what I got from little Scarlett, just the brief front part of it that she talked about.
Yeah. I mean, Mark, you're spot on with Grant's movement and what he's trying to accomplish, and he's following, the framework to the T, and creating that movement almost cult like. I mean, if you would have went to Vegas 2020, it would have freaked you out a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, it, or I don't know if you were there or you watched it or whatever, but some of the performances that they did in the interim with Elena and stuff like that was a little weird and a little culty. But he has his mission. He wants to know and help as many people as possible. I like the direction that he's been going in the past couple years. in helping the youth with financial literacy and doing those meetings down there for them and giving Cardone U to the kids, because ultimately, I mean, his end game is for you to invest in his real estate portfolio, and they hammered that a lot between Elena's speech and Grant's speech, that when they started getting into the bigger deals, not going the route of the hedge fund people and taking their money, is like, why not have the common folks like you and me be able to invest and reap those rewards, to have that cash flow coming in.
Yes.
That's the end game. That's the ultimate. He wants you to be able to build yourself up enough to be able to invest in Cardone Capital. Right now, it's only accredited investors, so you need $25,000 at least in liquid assets, I believe, minimum, or so much already invested in other assets to be considered accredited to be able to invest. He did open it up one time to non-accredited investors, and I think that kind of bit him in the butt, because he hasn't done it since. And he did it with during the pandemic time, and I think minimum buy-in was like $5,000, and it's like, of course, when I didn't have the money, I had the availability to do it, and I couldn't do it. So, it's just one of those things, man.
Yeah. I take a step back and I look at so the whole world is not into the personal development. The whole world is not into business growth and entrepreneurship. Okay, there's 5,000 people. There are a lot of conventions that go to Las Vegas. Las Vegas probably sees magic conventions, vacuum cleaner conventions, but here is this convention with a group of entrepreneurs, and you see Grant Cardone has his banner with his face on the side of one of these big hotels. It's almost like like you go to Vegas and you see the prize fighters. I say prize fighters, but boxing. It's like here's this face of a business person, an entrepreneur that's helping people to break through limiting beliefs, because that's what he does with his mindset. He motivates you to be more than you've ever thought that you could be, and that's what he does. And he teaches financial literacy. And I kind of look at, okay, there was a movie that came out years ago, and it was about kind of like behind the scenes. Okay, you get these behind the scenes, like the true story behind this big figure that was going on stage. And I look at it from that point of view, about how Grant Cardone is now just like this big, huge character, this big symbol, that's able to have his face on the side of one of Las Vegas's biggest and most popular hotels. And it's like he's going from reaching the audience of, let's say, how many would you say, let's say, entrepreneur community? 1 million? 2 million? I mean, there's only 5,000 people in that building. So if you think about 5,000, if you had 1 million people that were kind of like either in that realm, let's say 2.5 million, 3.5 million, 4, what would you say?
There's a lot of people. There's a
5
lot of
million?
people. I don't know. I mean, it's tough to fathom and put a number on it, honestly. But I know there's a lot of people that need to be in it that aren't, and the thing that is keeping them back is they don't know what they don't know, and until they find that out, they won't be able to take it in.
Because there are some people out there that believe it's a scam. What do you think, Laura?
Everything's a scam if you think it's a scam. Everything that, I'm not scams that maybe work. I don't know, right? So just kidding. That's a bad sentence. Uh, look, here's how I look at it, okay? Because actually, I didn't go to GrowthCon this year, and this is that's like a huge thing for me. But I'm just remembering, right? Dude, the only reason I'm doing any of this, the only reason I have a high sales career is because of Grant. He told me to go do all this, right? He told me to go get a great family, go be ethical with myself, go get in shape, move, make sure I'm taking care of myself, make sure I'm moving in the right direction, make sure I'm 10xing, or at least moving towards that, right? I'm not going to feel bad if I didn't go to 10x this year, right? At some point, you take all the stuff he's given you and you go and do in the marketplace, right? It's no more like talk, listen to. I just got to go and grab and do. At some point, it starts with me, right? I already have everything, dude. I'm going through Cardone University, and it's thousands, probably over $10,000, 10,000 hours worth of content. At some point, I just need to go and do, right? I'm literally on the phone from 8 sometimes in the morning till sometimes 9 to 10 at night every single day, right? So Grant told me to go and get that done, right? I'm building a high level sales career. I'm not going to feel bad for not joining all these other things that I not that I don't have time to. I'm going to say it's not my priority. My priority here is, dude, I could hit a 7-figure target on my commission. That's what Grant's been telling me to do since I was 24 years old. I just turned 30. So that's like 6 years of him pitching me, and me reading hundreds of things that he's wrote, hundreds of things that he said, heard husbands. So at some point it's like, well, I mean, like it's like saying, well, Grant, I'm doing what you told me to do. Like, it's not me going to Vegas this year. That doesn't add to my balance sheet right now, right? You told me to go and do more 10x stuff. So that's what I'm doing. At some point, it's no more listening. Just go and do it. Go and grab it. Brandon said this earlier. It's the same basic messages over and over again, presented in a different way, right? You already have all the basic information. Go and act in the marketplace, because otherwise you're better off reading this one time and going to be hard on yourself and actually like using this than reading this 7 times and never practicing it out in the marketplace. So that is my 2 cents for the morning.
Right. You ever reach someone or have a conversation with someone that doesn't seem to care as much about being successful or doesn't have the drive that you have?
All the time.
All the time. I mean,
right.
All the time, but it's like, great. Like, all right, good. Well, like, I'm going to do what I need to do because I got to hit a target. So just remember, like, you need to take advice from who you want to be. And like, you need to go do things that that are going to help you achieve those big, massive volcano views. Climb the volcano. The only way to climb the volcano is to go and start the freaking journey.
Is that volcano Atitlan?
Yeah. No, so Atitlan is the lake.
Yeah, okay.
And then the 3 volcanoes are different, but
that's cool. That looks just like
remember when I was standing in that pier? That is the view.
With the fishermen out there?
View. Yeah, that is the exact view.
Yeah.
That's why we got it.
That is cool. That is cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Remember, just like at some point, you know what you need to do to get where you need to get. And that's what I keep telling myself. Actually, my boyfriend and I were talking about this last night because we've completely changed our diet. And, he's like, he's like really hardcore in this keto diet. All right. He's been doing it for 6 months. He's lost all this weight. And like last night, he's a huge hot dog guy. And I was like, yeah, he made some hot dogs, right? And he's over there eating hot dogs with lettuce instead of buns. And I'm like, how things change, right? And it's like a
Uh,
habit. It's a habit. All these things start being habits, and you don't even notice the difference. Like literally, you change at a DNA level, and you start making decisions and changes for yourself because you're like, I'm looking after something bigger than just right now, something than just my taste. I'm looking at like the big picture, like what can I be? Who can I be? Like who am I becoming? Right? That's more powerful than just I'm going to be stuck in the same cycles over and over again. At some point, you change. And that's why you need to do all the self development.
right, right. Any thoughts, Brandon?
No, Laura's pretty much spot on with how it should be and how it should happen. Some people take longer than others to need to hear the message over and over again. Some people hear it first time, they're like, all right, I get it. Let's go do it, and don't need to hear it again. Um, I would say since 2019, so I'm going into the third year with it. I'm already kind of graduated myself out of the challenges and the info meetings and all that kind of stuff. I already have all the information because it's there. It's just kind of repetitive, and now it's just time to go do.
Action stage, action,
Yep.
implementing, and going out there and putting the reps in. We talked about that last week. Repetition, putting in. If you want to be like a Grant Cardone, if you want to be on a stage and you want to have a tribe and have that influence and impact along with the income, it's you've got to put in the work. And it's so evident with like I was talking about seeing him on stage and how you could just see it comes from having done it so many times and so many times and so many times. And he said, I think he even said something. He said, if you think we gotta listen to that together. We gotta listen to it together. I mean, it goes like 2-3 hours, but we gotta figure out some
Where is it? Is it in the challenge
uh,
folder with it? Oh,
we,
all right, all right. Off camera. We'll talk about it later.
it's we'll search the internet for it. We'll search Chat GPT.
It's got the transcript already.
Yeah. We'll
Um,
we'll we'll feed it to one of those Chat GPTs and let the AI voice just speak it, right?
yep. No, I mean, and kind of going into that, I mean, he even said when he first started out, he was absolutely terrible. His first deal was terrible, and we see that with all the good speakers now is they go back and they show their first pitch and it was horrendous. I mean, even Russell's was horrendous. Peng Joon's was horrendous. I'm sure Grant was horrendous. I'm sure Tony was horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the first deal and Grant realized that, and he said in his story that he ended up going door to door and trying to pitch these businesses to just let them have the opportunity to pitch something. And they're like, what? And he's like, I don't know, just something. Just let me talk to your people. And that's how he got his reps in, one, to be able to close the gatekeeper, to be able to speak to the employees, and then two, speaking to the employees. So yeah.
That's it. That's it. So just remember out there, everyone out there watching, hey, don't expect to go out and be this expert person if you haven't put in the work. Do yourself a favor, put in the work, have a schedule, and say that I'm going to work on this skill for 2 hours a day. If you do that, after 5 days, you'll have worked on a skill for 10 hours, whether that is cold outreach, but you do that. The more you do it, you cannot not get better. You will become better as you start to learn, but you have to put yourself out there. And that's what we want to do all day, every week here on Pitch Practice, the show. We're going to
Always
be
training for greatness. Come on now.
yeah, yeah.
Always training for greatness. And every day you pick up again. What did Jesus say? Pick your cross up every day.
Yes, yes. And that's we're going to be yeah, time for us to say goodbye, but we always want to throw a shout out there because we do this for you out there listening. We appreciate you. And take us out, Brandon, and then Laura.
Yeah, again, thank you very much for watching. If you need any help, drop the question in the comments. We'll be happy to answer it for you. And if you need any one-on-one help, just look up BKXX and you'll find your way to me.
Nice.
Yeah, and if you need to find a great solution to find a franchise, reach out to me. Laura Morales, find me on LinkedIn. It's the best way to get a hold of me. And as always, I'm always gonna get to the ink. Let's go.
That's a gong. That's a 10x gong right there. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you have a super great, fabulous, awesome week. Until next time. See you later.